Hello, and welcome to the Iron Spoon Kitchen, where the Iron Spoon has been scooping up a lot of flour today because we're going to be making some yeast rolls. And I know some of you are like, oh no, yeast, that's too much work. It's not. You just have to know the steps, and it works out just fine. And this is a recipe from a good friend of mine. This was her grandmother's recipe. So this goes back to probably about 1920s, and it is delicious. She has made them for me, and they melt in the mouth. So you're going to want to make these as well. And I've made it myself, but only one time before. So I was checking with her on the phone to make sure that I got everything right, and I did. So, with that being said, right now I have some sifted flour. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish doing that. Let's remove the iron spoon. I've got most of it done. And one thing I've learned is that dramatic effect for doing flour is very good. So cue the dramatic effect. And we are done. And this is 6 cups of sifted flour. And what we have in front of us here is that we have a little bit of cold water. It's about half cup, 6 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 8 tablespoons of shortening or lard. And in this case, I have lard. And then over here, we have 2 cups of warm milk. And let's see if it's still warm. Well, I turned it off. Yeah, looks like we're getting there. I think that will do. Now it's time to start putting all this together. And the first thing we're going to do is to get the yeast because these are yeast rolls. And I have fixed my larder. So we press the button. It's a little loud, so be ready. Still not used to that. Okay. Wish it would come all the way down. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now we got that. So I've got the yeast from the larder. And let's see, we're going to take 2 yeast cakes. Well, this is 2 packages, not yeast cakes. And we're going to crumble those into this half cup of water here. Let me move. Well, I guess I can leave that there. Well, there's one. Gee, this was hard to open. Should have got this open from the larder. Well, this apparently is the hardest part. I think you can do better than me. Okay, there. It's out. Okay, let me dissolve this. I'm going to stir it until it's dissolved. This is a half cup of cold water. The yeast is dissolved, and I've transferred my flour from my big bowl to a smaller bowl so we can start mixing things together here. And this is a recipe that I'm going to start, and then I'm going to actually put it in the refrigerator for it to rise. And you may be saying, refrigerator to rise? Yeah, in this case, that's the right move. Usually you'll put it in a warm place for it to rise, but I want this to rise slowly. And when it rises slowly, then you get a better and a richer taste to it. And so that's what we're going to be doing. So we have our dissolved yeast, 2 packages, which were very hard to open, 2 cups of lukewarm whole milk, and that's about 105 degrees. Let's stir that up a little bit. Okay, that seems to have mixed. Then we have our sugar, and let's see, 6 tablespoons of sugar. Get that mixed in there. That shouldn't take long to mix with the warm milk. 2 teaspoons of salt. I don't know where the iron spoon, oh, there it is. I was wondering, why am I not using the iron spoon? And now the 8 tablespoons of lard. Or you can use shortening. Okay, iron spoon, you've done your job. You need a bigger spoon. Okay, I'm gonna get this mixed up and we'll be right back. Hey, I've mixed this together. There's not much to see here, so I'm not going to invite you over to look. It's just all mixed together. Now the lard is still within here and it's kind of whole. It's not dissolving yet, but that's okay. We're going to keep stirring as we add the flour to everything. And let me get a scoop for the flour. Well, this will work. And we'll mix that in about a cup at a time. And eventually, I'll be using my hands. I think it's time to speed things up. Hey, I wanted you to see how this is looking as I mix it together. I've got about half of the flour in here at this point. And I'm going to be mixing this with my hand after I do this part here. And don't rush this. You may have a tendency to say, oh, I'm tired of putting it in 1 cup at a time. But if you do that all at once, you're going to have a mess on your hands. And that I know from experience. So take your time on this. There's no rush. If you want something to come out good, you take your time. Okay, I'll finish this up and we'll be back in a little bit. Now it's time to mix it all by hand. And as I said before, take your time. There's the old saying, take your time and do it right the first time. Or don't take your time and learn that you should take your time. like me. Yeah, I think you get the idea. I'm going to keep mixing this until we have it all together and it looks nice and pretty. It's mixed together, looks very nice. Now I'm going to put this into the refrigerator for about 8 hours. And this is one of those nice things about this is that you can do this. And I'm going to put this plate on here to help hold it down. And it should double in size within about 8 hours, maybe a little bit shorter. But as I was saying, this is a good way to have something prepared that you can start in the morning and then finish the next day even. Well, here we are. Looks like our dough has almost doubled in size. I've had it in the refrigerator for about 8 hours. So I'm ready to take it out and I'm going to divide it in half. And then I'm going to roll it. And this makes about 3 dozen rolls. So it's more than enough to do something. Yeah, I think I'm going to quarter that. Okay, I'm going to knead this a little bit. And I've got this silicone sheet here that, look at that, doesn't even stick. If I was doing that on wood, it'd be a mess. I think I'll still put a little powder on it because I am about to use this. And it's not silicone. So I'm going to go ahead and get these to probably about 3/8 of an inch thick, something like that. See, I think that's got it. I've got it rolled out about 3/8 of an inch. So let's take a look and see how one of these is going to do. That still might be a little thick, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to fold them over like this. And then I'm going to dip them in butter, and that's going to be really good. So let's try. There's one there. Stay put. I still think it's a little bit on the thick side, though. But we'll see. Yeah, that cutter's not exactly doing right. And then fold it over. And we're going to put this into the oven and let it rise again. But it won't be for 8 hours like we did for the other one. And this is the part that you would do, the next day, as opposed to doing it, in one day. Okay, got it there. And then we'll fold it over. That looks good. Okay, I think you get the idea. I'm going to keep doing some more, and then we'll get them in the oven to rise. Before I finish cutting these out, I wanted to give you a little bit closer look at everything. so you can see how thick these are. So I'm taking that. This is just really to make them as a measurement, because you flatten it out afterwards so that you can flip it over like that. Okay? All right, now I'll do the rest of these. I've got these all done now, but what I did is I went back and some of them just did not stay as big as I wanted them. So I wanted you to see that I took them back and pressed them out again. It's actually more like a 1/4 inch thick. I'd said about a 1/2 inch, but then that makes a good fold. And so doing it this way instead of just hammering it down seems to work better. And then I'm going to dip these in a little butter. Now I'm going to dip these in a little butter, but first I'm going to get a paper towel and just wipe down this cookie sheet with a little bit of butter so that they don't stick. That should probably be enough. And let me double check my recipe, which is over there. And now we're going to dip these in the butter. And then I'm going to let it rise again in the oven. Ooh, that's going to be good. Hey, I'm going to finish these up, and next time you see me, we'll have them risen and see how they look at that point, and then get them in the oven to cook. It looks like these are ready to cook. I put these in a warm oven. I had set it for 170 and then turned it off and just let these sit in there. And it seems like it worked just fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this going, and we're gonna get these cooked. Okay, we're out of the oven. Looks good. This is after about 20 minutes at 375. Success! Our yeast rolls came out great. So let's give it a try. I'm just going to take a small bite here. Ooh, nice and warm. I took a small bite because I know I'd eat this whole thing. But this tastes great with a little bit of butter on it and some jelly. Anything you want, or just plain like this. Or heat it up. One time I took some and poured some maple syrup over it. Decadent. Oh, that was great. I take another bite, but I've got to talk. The one thing I would change on the recipe that I did, not that the recipe changed, is that I would give it an overnight rise in the refrigerator. It did rise plenty, but it didn't quite double in size like it should have. And so that would be one of the changes that I would make. All right, well, I hope that you enjoy making these yeast rolls. Remember, it's something you can do. It just have to follow the steps one after the other and take your time. Don't try to be in a hurry. And if you like this video, then like it and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. And hit the notification button and you'll know whenever I have the new videos up. So thank you for joining me for another episode of the Iron Spoon Kitchen.